Chiang Mai is one of those cities where the neighborhood you pick can completely change your experience. Stay in the wrong area and you'll spend half your time in grab rides trying to get to where the good stuff is. Stay in the right one and everything just flows. Your morning coffee, your co-working spot, your favorite noodle place, all within walking distance. I spent a good amount of time here, tried different parts of the city, and talked to a lot of people who've been living here way longer than me. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 4 main areas where people stay in Chiang Mai, what each one actually feels like, and which type of traveler it works best for. So stick around because by the end of this, you'll know exactly which neighborhood fits your style. Alright, if it's your first time in Chiang Mai, the old city is probably the safest bet. It's the historic center, surrounded by ancient walls and a moat, and it's packed with temples, street food, local markets, and guest houses. The whole area is compact enough that you can walk pretty much everywhere without needing a scooter or calling a grab. And that's honestly the best thing about it. You step outside and you're already in the middle of it. Monks walking by in the early morning, tourists grabbing smoothies, someone getting a massage on the sidewalk, all at the same time. It's got this mix of local tradition and travel energy that just works, especially if you want to hit the ground running and start exploring from day one. The Sunday night market is a big draw here. Every week, the streets around Ta Pe Gate fill up with food stalls, handmade goods, and live music. It's one of those things you have to see at least once. And if you're into temples, some of the most famous ones in the city are right here. But beyond the obvious spots, the old city is also great for just wandering with no plan. You'll find narrow alleys, colorful murals, hidden cafes, and little surprises around every corner. It's the kind of area that rewards you for getting lost. Most of the accommodation here sits in the budget to mid-range category. Guest houses and Thai-style Airbnbs usually go for about $20 to $50 a night. Don't expect modern condos or resort-style amenities. This is more about charm, location, and simplicity. One tip though, if you want it quieter, book something on the west side. The east side near Ta Pe Gate gets loud on weekends, especially Friday and Saturday nights. If you want to be central, walk everywhere, and get a mix of culture and convenience right from the start, the old city is a great first stop. If you've already done the busy market crawling thing and you just want somewhere peaceful to come back to at the end of the day, the Riverside area is worth a serious look. It runs along the Ping River just east of the old city, close enough that you can get to the center in a few minutes, but far enough that the noise, the tuk-tuks, and the tourist crowds fade away. It's a totally different pace here. The riverfront is lined with boutique hotels, quiet cafes, and some of the best restaurants in the city. During the day, it's the kind of place where you take a slow walk along the water, sit down at a cafe with a river view, and just let the afternoon pass. There's not much nightlife here, no bar streets or party hostels, and that's exactly the point. This area attracts couples, families, and people who value calm over chaos. It also has this surprisingly green residential feel. Small parks, flower-lined streets, and even a few temples that most tourists never visit because they're off the main trail. You won't find as much street food as in other neighborhoods, but the restaurant quality here is genuinely excellent. Accommodation tends to be a step up in price. You're looking at $50 to $120 a night for boutique hotels, garden resorts, and riverview rooms. A lot of them include breakfast, pools, and outdoor spaces that actually make you want to stay in for the morning. There are also some high-end Airbnbs and serviced apartments that work well for longer stays if you want comfort without committing to a hotel every night. If your priority is comfort, scenery, and a slower rhythm over being in the middle of the action, Riverside is one of the best options in the city, especially if you've been traveling for a while and you just need a place that feels like a reset. Before we jump into the next neighborhood, one thing I always like to mention, especially for people who are planning longer stays or moving between cities in Thailand. Wherever you end up staying, make sure you have travel insurance sorted before you arrive. It's one of those things that feels unnecessary until you actually need it, and then it's the most important thing in the world. I personally use Safety Wing. Their Nomad insurance plan starts at about $62 every 4 weeks, and it covers the stuff that actually matters, like hospital visits, motorbike accidents, and even lost checked luggage. You can sign up online in a few minutes, even if you're already traveling. I'll leave a link in the description, and there's a QR code right here on screen if you want to check out their plans. Alright, now we're getting to the area that most digital nomads and remote workers end up choosing, and honestly, it's easy to see why. Nimmanhaemin, or Nimman as everyone calls it, is the modern, trendy side of Chiang Mai. If the old city is all about history and tradition, Nimman is about coffee shops, co-working spaces, and a lifestyle that's basically built for people who work online. Every corner has a cafe, and not just any random one. We're talking about beautifully designed, Instagram-worthy places with solid Wi-Fi, good coffee, and a vibe that makes you actually want to sit down and get work done. You'll also find a solid mix of Thai and international restaurants, boutique shops, and plenty of places to eat, work, and socialize, all within a few blocks. The center of it all is Maya Mall. It's got a supermarket, a food court, a cinema, and a rooftop area with great sunset views. Right behind the mall is One Nimman, this open-air complex with cafes, bars, craft shops, and weekend pop-up events. It's the kind of place where you go for a coffee and end up staying for 3 hours because you ran into 5 people you know. And even though Nimman feels more urban and developed, the streets are surprisingly green. Tree-lined roads, small alleys full of art galleries, massage studios, and random gems you wouldn't find unless you were walking through on foot. Accommodation here leans toward long-term stays. Modern condos, serviced apartments, and boutique hotels with fully furnished units, and sometimes even weekly cleaning. Expect about $400 to $900 a month for a one-bedroom, depending on the building and the location within Nimman. But for that price, you're getting a lifestyle that's genuinely hard to match. Walkable streets, fast internet, great food, and a built-in social scene. The trade-off is that you're not going to feel like you're in traditional Thailand every day. Nimman is more international, more polished, and more convenience-oriented. But if you're staying for a few months, working remotely, and you want a neighborhood that just makes daily life easy, this is probably the best spot in the city to set up your base. Now, here's the area that the budget-conscious long-term crowd tends to gravitate toward. Santitham sits just north of the old city and right next to Nimman, which means you're still close to everything that matters, but you're not paying the premium that comes with those more popular neighborhoods. What makes Santitham different is how local it feels. You're not going to see many tourists here. Most of the shops, restaurants, and markets cater to locals, students, and Thai families. That means the food is cheaper, the atmosphere is more authentic, and the pace of life is slower and more residential. It's the kind of neighborhood where you see students walking to class, families eating at tiny roadside restaurants, and street vendors setting up their carts in the early evening. There are some great local markets nearby, like Nimman Market, where you can eat well for just a couple of dollars. You'll also find small temples, fruit stalls on every other corner, cheap massage shops, and plenty of convenience stores. No big malls, no modern shopping centers, just the basics done well and done cheaply. Accommodation here is the most affordable you'll find near the center of Chiang Mai. Most of the options are older apartments, small guest houses, or basic studios. Prices range from about $150 to $350 a month, which is significantly less than Nimman or the Old City. A lot of the best deals don't even show up online. You'll find them by walking through the neighborhood and checking the signs posted on buildings. It's old school, but it works. English isn't widely spoken here. Most signs are in Thai, and you'll probably need Google Translate for some interactions. But if you're open to adapting a little and you don't mind a neighborhood that looks less polished than the rest, Santitham is incredibly practical, well-located, and full of character. It's especially popular with long-term travelers and nomads who want to be a 5-minute ride from Nimman without paying Nimman prices. The area won't win any design awards, but if you're here for months and you want to keep your costs low while still being close to everything, it's hard to find a better deal in the city. So those are the 4 main areas where people stay in Chiang Mai. Each one has a completely different feel, and the right choice really depends on what kind of trip you're having and how long you're planning to stay. If you're still not sure, book a few nights in one area, spend your days exploring the others, and you'll figure it out pretty quickly. Chiang Mai is small enough that you can test all 4 neighborhoods in a week. I hope this video helped you figure out where to stay. If it did, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and don't forget to check the link I left in the description if you want to get your travel insurance sorted. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.